Fishing trips anywhere, anytime. FishingBooker.com.
Welcome to the Habitat Podcast, the podcast for wildlife habitat management, hunting strategy, and land stewardship. And now, your host, Jared Van Hees.
Welcome to the Habitat Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Deer Camp Podcast. Jared here from HP. We have a great episode for you here today. We have Mr. Matt Bullins. Matt, I met at the ATA show a few years back. Andy's known him for years, shared camp with him at least once in the past, and we have a great episode for you here today. Now, Matt is Southern way more than we are. He makes some great TV content. He's been on Whitetail Fix. He's been on Red Rising TV, which he owns now. Multiple shows. Great guy, and we talk about how he does deer hunting, where he's at. We talk about the countdown to deer season, some of how VHS has gone to streaming. Just another great Deer Camp Podcast episode, guys. Matt Bullins, Red Rising TV. Back at you next week with another episode. Take care.
This podcast is brought to you by Latitude Outdoors. Guys, Latitude Outdoors is one of the top saddle hunting manufacturing companies in the world, here headquartered in Michigan. Guys, I've worked with Kevin, Alex, the guys over there at Latitude. I've been using their products for over 3 seasons here at Habitat Podcast. The first deer I shot was that first big buck on the 15 acres out of my Method 2 saddle. That buck, I shot him out of the saddle using the climbing sticks, the platform, everything to get up, and that saddle is just very versatile when selecting a tree. That's the first time I hunted that tree on the 15 acres. I climbed up that day and I was able to make the shot and a follow-up shot on that buck in that saddle. Guys, the saddle is so easy to use. You literally strap it on like a seat belt, like a belt. It's all ropes. There's no metal components. There's no chinging and banging and clunking. I wrap it around, I step into it, I cinch it down, and I'm on my way out. I also use their Carbon Speed Series climbing sticks. I got those brand new this year. I've been using those all over bow hunting and gun hunting, from public land to private. Very lightweight, easy to carry, stackable sticks. I ended up putting cell strips on mine and using daisy chains. They compact very well, hang out of the bottom of my pack. And when I'm wearing the Method 2 saddle, I can easily pick any tree in the woods and hunt. Guys, if you're looking for a way to outfit your property without spending $200 per stand, like I'm gonna do on the new 40, I'm gonna prep a bunch of saddle trees and keep the deer guessing on where I'm sitting. They will not know my true stand location because I will not have one. Guys, saddles are very versatile. I urge you to check them out. Latitude Outdoors. Again, I've been using them for years and they are great products. Latitude Outdoors, thank you for supporting the Habitat Podcast.
All right, we're back. Another episode of the Deer Camp Podcast. This week we have my friend Matt Bullins of Red Rising TV. Matt, how's it going, man?
Good, man. I appreciate you having me here, Andrew. Certainly appreciate this. So, yeah, everything's been good, man. Did you have a good 4th?
I did. We spent some time on the water. I got sunburnt. So, it's a good 4th if you get sunburnt, from what I understand. So, I had a good 4th. Kids had a good time.
Perfect. Yeah, anytime the 4th rolls around and rolls through, I get to thinking it starts to get that itch for deer season because I know it's just coming around the corner.
It's kind of like the unofficial start of deer season from what I'm seeing all over social media. And I kind of agree. I mean, you get past the 4th and it's like, all right, what are we looking forward to now? We're looking forward to deer season.
Whatever your preparation is for that, usually after the 4th, at least by late July, you're, putting out trail cameras, doing food plots, some prep work, hanging stands, whatever it may be. But it sure puts the itch on me, that's for sure.
Heck yeah. Have you? How did last season go for you?
Last season was pretty solid for me. I had a really good year as far as episodes. Got a little bit of transition going on here. Red Rising, we've been doing that for 12 years now, and Some bigger new things coming down the pipe. Red Rising's new episodes are airing right now on Sportsman's Channel. They started last week, and they're going to run through December. And I have a new series coming out in January called Bloodline Hunting. So everything that I filmed last year will show up starting January on the new series. So
Okay.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Glad to hear that that's getting rolling. Is that going to air on Sportsman's Channel again, or is this a YouTube? What's your
In negotiations right now with Outdoor Channel and Sportsman since they're owned by the Outdoor Sportsman's Group. So I'm hoping it's going to be on Q1 and 2 Outdoor Channel and then 3 and 4 on Sportsman. So hoping to make a move to the Outdoor Channel. That's kind of what the goal has been. So time will tell. We don't have anything solidified or inked yet, but that's been the negotiation so far.
Okay. Well,
Worst
cool.
case,
That's all.
it'll be worst case 52-week Sportsman's Channel, same air times, but maybe looking to make a move to Outdoor too. So
Okay.
I'll keep everybody posted.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Everybody follow along there and see where it's going to be. So what is the new series kind of about?
You know, with this new opportunity, it was one of those that I wanted to take things back to when it was more of a simple time and talk about our ancestral times and more of our generational bloodlines and how hunting was passed down from one generation to the next, whether it was you, myself, or anybody else out there. We're going to do a lot more storytelling. We're going to delve into the traditions, values, and histories of wherever we're hunting with whoever we're hunting with. And, you know, how did they get there? Where did they come from? And a lot of storytelling about generations past and, you know, try to bring back some of those good old memories and smiles on people's faces.
Okay, well that's cool, man. That's right up my alley. I love every bit of that. Do you have a bunch of stuff scheduled for this year, trips wise?
You know, my schedule's still up in the air. I do have a late muzzleloader tag for Iowa. Probably be in Texas as well. And then I'm going to go to Maryland to the Eastern Shore. I'm going to try to do something I've never done before. We'll try to do a sick deer hunt while I'm whitetail hunting in Maryland. So if anybody's ever hunted the shores, Eastern Shores of Maryland, they grow as big or bigger deer than they do in the Midwest, which is just hard to believe that, you know, you could have that caliber, that type of animal on the Eastern Shore, right on the coastline. Because, you know, when you think big deer, you think Midwest, but I'm telling you, once you cross the Chesapeake over there, you get out on that shore, a lot of crop ground and a lot of big deer. So really excited about that too. Probably do a waterfowl hunt and may go to Missouri and hunt with a buddy of mine during the rut. So still up in the air. I've got a few things ironed in, but still pretty open too.
Okay. All right. Iowa, you said muzzleloader hunt in Iowa for you this year?
Yeah, I got a late muzzleloader tag. I was there 2 years ago, killed a really nice deer late season. And so luckily drew my tag this year. I wasn't sure it was about 50-50 whether I draw, but I did. So excited about that again.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I drew my archery tag for Iowa this year, so we're stoked and we're ready to go.
Yeah, that coveted.
I wouldn't say ready to go. We're going.
Yeah, that's one of the most exciting tags you can get if you're a whitetail hunter. I mean, that coveted Iowa tag, depending on what zone you're in and how many years it takes to draw, and yeah, that's exciting for sure.
Yeah, I'm zone 4, and this was my going into my 6th draw or 6th year, so
Wow.
it's been a long time in the making, that's for sure. I had a buddy that's going to the same place that he didn't draw. We had the same amount of points. He didn't draw last year, so it took all of 5 points to go.
That's crazy. Back when I drew my last bow tag in zone 4, it took me 4 points, I believe. I didn't have 5. I think I drew with 4, but that's been 3 or 4 years ago, and things have drastically changed since then, I know. So, yeah.
When I first started talking to the outfitter where I'm going, that hits what he said. He said, "Oh, 4 points, you'll draw on 4 points," and then 4 points came and went, and that point creep is super real. And I mean, look at Kansas. Kansas is now a draw state. It used to be in every. It was always I guess it was always a draw state, but it was it was like you drew it every year.
Yeah, they always had leftover tags, and you could, buy a tag in a zone that touched another zone, and there were ways to get tags. But yeah, it's now I think it'll end up being just like Iowa. I think eventually, they'll change the zoning structure to more what Iowa does, where they'll just have certain zones you put in for that one, and it's going to be that kind of draw system.
Okay. Well, let's. I'm hoping that a bunch of these states still stay over the counter because I really like my over the counter tags.
Mm.
We'll see though, but especially ones that are close to Michigan. As for me, I mean, you're kind of in the same boat where you're in North Carolina. We got to travel to get wherever we're going. There's no like going left or right. It's you got to go one direction to get where you're going.
Yeah, for me, it's it's a long drive, a long haul if you're going to go hunt serious whitetails. I mean, now don't get me wrong, I cut my teeth in the Blue Ridge Mountains right here in Northwest North Carolina, and that is still my favorite place to hunt if you can get on what we consider a mature deer here. Because these bucks, these ridge runners, they live up in these laurel and rhododendron thickets and a lot of black bears, and it's just dense, thick, and hard to hunt. But yeah, if I'm wanting to hunt a big whitetail, I've got to go due west. I mean, Ohio, Kentucky, some of those states are within 4 to 5 hours, but really you're going 12 plus hours if you're going to the Midwest.
Yeah, I hear you. I think I want to say it's 5 hours for me to get out of Michigan to even just get to like Indiana, or I'm in the northern part of Michigan, so I got to drive through the whole state before I can get out of here.
That's
So
crazy.
it's not great for like this travel hunting, but I'll tell you what, we live in a world class area, and we've got some pretty decent deer hunting around here, so I can't complain too
Good.
terribly much. I mean, for Michigan, I mean, you're not shooting a booner around every corner, but there's
Sure.
some good deer here for sure. Um, so you've been at this a long time. Did you start on Drury if I remember right?
We did, yeah.
Dream
Started
season.
Drury Outdoors 20 plus years ago, every bit of 20, maybe closer to 25 years ago. And so, yeah, we've been around the block a time or two and back. And, I mean, it's definitely forged the path we're on now or that I'm on. I mean, I owe a lot to Mark and Terry and Matt. I mean, that's where I got my start. And, they're still friends to this day. And without them, none of us at Red Rising or me would be where we are now. That's for sure. I mean, you know, back then it was a whole different ball game, and filming looked a lot different when you were a producer or subcontractor than it does today.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Guess what has changed over the last 25 years? I mean, obviously, production and the way people get their content now is absolutely wild. I mean, you can get it kind of everywhere now. Where it used to be, you had to subscribe to the TV show or to the channel and all that. So, I mean, I guess where have you seen it come from?
I can remember when I started, we were using the shoulder camcorders with VHS tapes. VHS. Now, think about that. I'm not talking about the mini disc. We went from VHS to mini disc. Really, about the time we got started, VHS was, phasing out, and the mini disc tapes were coming in, and you still had the big shoulder cameras. Now you could hold them out front, but you had a viewfinder you had to look through, and much different. I can remember years later getting our first, mini disc or chip cameras, we call them, and we were like, my goodness, where are we now? This is incredible. This is the best technology we've ever seen. Because with mini discs, those mini disc cassettes, what we used to have to do is we would have to record with those and then go back, and we had what we call log sheets that Drury would send us, and we would have to go through and watch them and time code where everything was and write it down so that their editors could look at it and go back to the tape. And God forbid, and I have done it, we have all done it. You go back and rewind to watch something. Well, if you didn't fast forward it or forgot to, you just recorded over whatever you filmed. And I have lost deer hunts, full deer kills, good ones, all of us, because we had forgot to fast forward, didn't rewind far enough. It was a different world with those mini disc tapes for sure. And then when you went to SD cards, there was no taping over things. That was the best thing of all of them. You could go back, rewind, or watch the footage and not have to worry about taping over something. So that was a win in itself right there. And then, I can remember the days where, the new DVDs at Drury Outdoors or Monster Bucks or whoever released was the big deal. Every year you waited for the new DVDs to come out so you could watch all the hunts. And then later on they come out on TV. But those days are long past too. Now it's streaming, and you can find it anywhere and everywhere. So
Yeah. That's crazy. I talked to Jared Scheffler a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the DVD thing, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "How do you do it, man? How do you still, you're just in this ancient age, which is awesome. Everyone loves getting those DVDs, but I mean, it's just everything's streamlined so much that everybody wants to point and click. I mean, my kids are, they're never going to know what it's like for a phone to ring on a wall and not know who's on the other end.
No, or have to watch commercials even,
Yes. Yeah.
we watch commercials, and you run, you grab your drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, during a commercial break. And, now if kids had to sit down, mine too, and watch commercials, they lose their mind, or if they have to watch more than 3 minutes of something, just the capacity's there, the time's past just blows my mind. But yeah, we've come a long way since the last 20, 25 years where we are now. And, now YouTube's a big deal, digital streaming, linear's still there. And a lot of people, the last 5 years said TV's dead, TV's dead. It's not. It's just they didn't have the capability to track the numbers of where people were watching. Now they do have a new tracking system called ComScore. And if you're watching Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit Channel, whatever it is, whether you're watching it on your phone, iPad, computer, or TV, they can track that. So actually viewership's up about 25, 30% because now we can get the ratings that show people are not just watching on TV, they're watching it everywhere. So, that's a good thing for our industry because it's not dying like people thought. It's just people are getting it everywhere.
Yeah, there's just more stuff, there's more options, I guess, but everybody loves to be able to sit down and watch TV, and it's, it's there, it's what we're all familiar with, and it's what I grew up watching. It's you waiting for that, Thursday night show at 5:30 that you could, or whatever it was, when Red Rising would come on, or Realtree Road Trips or whatever, the old school ones. And just you'd wait and wait, and then if you missed it, it was like, oh man, what am I going to do now? I mean, I got to wait to buy the DVD set now.
Yeah, or catch a rerun somewhere down the road. Now most shows air 3, 4, 5 times a week. So if you do miss one, you can catch it at another time where they re-air. But it's come a long way. It's a whole lot different than it used to be. But yeah, I remember the days of Realtree Road Trips, Monster Bus, Drury Outdoors, and all the old shows, the Jackie Bushman show, and some of those. You waited all week to sit down and watch them, and that was the good old days, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was those were great days back when I, remember having to take your film to the 1 hour photo thing to get your trail camera pictures.
That's a great point. Me and Chris and Eric Jason used to go to Walmart, and instead of developing it, back when we had, like you said, the film cameras, we would hold the negatives up in the light while we were at Walmart to see if there was anything on it. And then if we saw something, we'd get them to develop that roll. But yeah, I can remember going through tons of negative, holding them up at Walmart just to see if we wanted to, get that developed so we could see what was actually on it. But yeah, those different times.
I remember getting many pictures of like a weed going back and forth on a developed photo that it's like, oh man, that sucks. But
I have this discussion a lot of people, especially consumer shows. Trail cameras are great. The technology we have now, I mean, some of them even have, I've seen where now that you can literally, if you can get a notification of a deer or an animal standing in front of it, and you can watch that deer or animal make a scrape or do whatever live, once you can turn on the live mode. That's just unbelievable to me. But I can remember back in the day when we didn't have trail cameras. And, it's a double-edged sword for me. There's a lot of spots I used to go hunt that I didn't have a trail camera out. And if a decent deer showed up, I'd shoot that deer because I didn't know what was there. I didn't have trail cameras to show me. Nowadays, I'm spoiled. I'm like that too. If I'm not getting pictures of something, I won't even go hunt that spot. And some deer that I would shoot if I didn't have trail cameras, I won't shoot now because I do. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. It's, it's funny you bring that up. I'm running cameras right now, but October 1st, I'm shutting my cameras off, and I'm going to go back to old school mentality for this year and see what surprises me, because I've never had that great of, like, when I say, like, I've never been able to use a trail camera to aid in me taking a deer, or I've never had historical data with, we have so many little properties up here that, deer bounce around and they don't just live in one little spot. So I'm going to give it a go this year. I'm kind of excited for it. We'll see. Everyone's like, oh, you're full of shit, you're not going to do it. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I really think I'm going to do it.
I've thought about that. I mean, if I wasn't filming a TV show, I certainly would. But because I've said it many times over and over, my daddy used to preach this to me too. He said, you are taking the fun out of what you do. Now, he liked to shoot big deer too. But a lot of times there are deer that I would probably shoot if I didn't have trail cameras up with a bigger deer that may, he may not show up again. But I'm like, well, I'm going to hold out for this one. But if you just go in there, no cameras, find you a tree or sit in an old stand, and what comes by, if you're happy with it, shoot it, throw it on the back of the truck, take your buddies to see it, skin it, and that's good times. That right there is what Bloodline Hunting is going to be about too. It's going to be about taking us back to our roots on how, traditionally how we grew up hunting. That's more of what I want to do.
That's awesome. That's kind of like my little series there, the Deer Camp series, where I'm going to different camps and interviewing the guys kind of situation. But yours is going to be more of an in-depth, I'm assuming, better production value than me sitting at a table with a bunch of old guys.
No, that right there, anytime you're sitting with old guys telling stories, that's the foundation of where we started this, no question. That's, Waddell's good at that too. He'll tell you, don't let people dictate what you shoot and how you hunt.
Exactly.
What makes you happy, what makes your daddy happy, your kids happy, everybody. And I agree. Everybody needs to do what they want to do. Don't let somebody tell you can't hunt with a crossbow. If you want to hunt with a crossbow, hunt with a crossbow. Don't tell somebody you can't bait. If it's legal to bait if you want to. Do what makes you happy and what's going to help you pass that on to the next generation.
Yes, exactly. Do what makes you happy. Do what's legal, as long as it's legal to do. I mean, why not? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've killed some nice deer over bait back when we could bait in Michigan. It wasn't a, I didn't take any more out of it than what, a regular hunt would be.
And I can tell you, I get tons of emails, comments on social media, stuff like that with just pure haters. I mean, people that, they see a crossbow hunt. You're too healthy to hunt with a crossbow. You shouldn't do that. That's not what people should do. I'm like, it's legal. Why not? Why? My kids can use it. I can use it. We have fun with it. What's the big deal? But, it's topics all over. People just hate on each other and wonder why, the hunting industry seems to be dwindling every year slowly. Because instead of lifting people up, hey, great, congratulations, let's thank each other, it's almost like we're just tearing each other down. And the internet plays a big part of that. We all know that. People can hide behind a keyboard and, just, I guess, drama is better than, no drama, so to speak.
Yeah, drama brings followers, I guess, but I don't, it's not my thing. I would, but yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like, whatever you do, just do it and enjoy it. It doesn't matter. And you don't think that, and I'm guilty of it. I shot a deer a couple years ago behind the house here at the farm, and it was a good deer. It was a good buck, but it wasn't a great buck. And I was just like, my pure joy was out of it because I was just like, I should have shot a better one. I should have shot this deer. But really, it was a great deer. My kids were ecstatic that I shot it. And I mean, it was still 100 and some inch, buck for Michigan. It was a nice buck. But it was, it was one of those things. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this if I'm going to not be super excited after you pull the trigger?
And especially if you've got kids and people around, apprentices, new people into the hunting industry. But, trying to justify what you shoot, I'm not about that either. People are, it's cold buck or should have been bigger. It could have been bigger. Man, if you're happy with it, you pull the trigger, be happy. Don't let people influence what you just did. You're supposed to be excited about that. Don't let people take it away from you, especially yourself, because I know how it is. There's critics everywhere, and you're always like, well, should I have done this? Or what's people going to think? But I've got to the point anymore where I'm like, hey, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Absolutely. Exactly. There's 10 million channels to watch. You don't have to watch this one if you don't want to.
That's right.
So you're going to be hunting, did you say some ducks this year too?
I'm going to be in Texas, hopefully. Yep. I'm going to try to go back down there again and see if I can kill a mature deer. I don't know I'm going to hunt with, at a ranch with some people that one of the sponsors that I'm affiliated with. And went down last year. You'll get to see that episode come out on Bloodline starting in January.
Okay.
I was there, killed a really nice deer, and hoping to go back this fall sometime. Haven't got it inked in with the schedule yet, but going to try to do that. It'll be a gun hunt, and man, it's just that place is just covered up with deer, exotics. I mean, you know how South Texas is. If you've ever been to South Texas, it's just game rich. But I will say this: it's the only ranch I've ever been on in Texas that has no javelinas and no hogs.
Really?
Zero. None. They do such a good job keeping them off of it that you won't see hardly any. I mean, none. I didn't see one the whole time I was there. They basically eradicated.
Hey guys, Al here, Vitalize Seed. I hope you all are doing well. So we got a lot of new things happening at Vitalize this year, and I wanted to highlight some of those. First off, we got a brand new website. We just added a chat feature to that website so you can get your answers to your questions in real time or as fast as possible. Those actually come directly to us, so we can answer those questions, as well as has some auto answer features for those frequently asked questions. So trying to further increase the customer service that we offer. Number two is we are offering bundles now. So we got a lot of questions about people trying to piecemeal things together. So we took the guesswork out of it for you. You want a fertility bundle, add that to your cart, and it gives you all of our natural fertility products in one place. We also are adding bulk pricing. So been asked about this in the past, and we've done some, kind of one-off things. But for those people who are buying, 5, 10, 15 acres, depending on the product, we're going to be offering some bulk pricing options for that. So right now we got that up on Nitro Boost. We also are going to have that up for the Clover, Chicory, and Oats offering, and might expand that to other offerings as well. Other things are new products. So we got our annual clover. That's a fantastic product for frost seeding and also for this early spring, especially for those who still want to plant Nitro Boost. They want to get that annual clover established. You could go in and drill your Nitro Boost right through, broadcast through it, mow it off, spray it off, etc. We got our premium clover plus. I'm using that on all my logging trails. That's a fantastic product. I'm also using that often with our Clover, Chicory, and Oats mix. So I might use Clover, Chicory, Oats in the first year on my logging trails like I did last fall. Let those oats come in, they'll die off, and then I can frost seed my premium Clover and Chicory over top of those trails now. So those are areas where I want a perennial crop growing. So I'm using that mix. And then we added our brassica mix as well. We, of course, have our seed feed and seed armor. Those are selling fantastic, and various other products, guys. So please check us out at vitalizeseed.com. We sure do appreciate you, and we're looking forward to a fantastic 2025.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
Shoot any hogs or javelinas, but I'm telling you, it's got everything imaginable. So
there is something special about South Texas. I mean, that's where we met, was at a ranch down there. And we went back the year after we were down there with you. And that's actually, let me see if I can, that's the one I shot that year.
yeah.
But yeah, there's just something special about that place, and people, I caught a bunch of shit for hunting a ranch. I mean, a bunch of shit. What, you're hunting a high fence ranch? I go, well, let's talk. 15,000 acres. I don't have 15,000 acres at home.
15,000 acres is the size of the county I live in.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, and I've caught that, heard it too. And, when I hunt these ranches, you're not seeing the same deer, maybe even twice ever. I mean, some of these high fence, low fence, of course, most of them have holes in the fence anyway. So
yes.
Get in, get out, jump over. I've hunted high, low, all of it, and everywhere in between. And I'm telling you, when you hunt a place like that you talked about where we were at 15, 20,000 acres, you can drive for miles and miles and miles and never see a low fence, a high fence, or any fence. And so I'm the same. When people talk about that, they give you shit over it. And I'm like, hey, don't knock it till you try it. And most people that try it are like, you know what? That was pretty cool. I'm going to do that again.
I mean, I remember it being a 45-minute Jeep ride back to camp from where I shot mine the first year when you were down there.
Yeah.
And we never left the same property. A 45-minute Jeep ride. That is wild.
Insane. I never even saw a fence when I was down there. Didn't even see one.
No, because they did. All it was the perimeter. It wasn't like it was all over the place. It was just the perimeter. So, we stayed away from that. And it was, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. I actually took it when I got home and I overlaid that 15,000 acres, like from my farm up, and I went to the next town. I mean, and that town's a 20-minute drive from here, on a good paved driveway or road.
It's not like hunting small tracts where you and I are, where, 40, 50, 60, 100 acres and, where there's a high fence and it's 4 acres and you can see from one side to the other. It's
Yeah,
not that. That's pin deer. That's a big difference.
exactly.
Than hunting South Texas. But I'm telling you, there is no place in North America like South Texas.
No, it's funny. Even those guys were, I remember the guide saying how they'd lose deer for years. And then all of a sudden it'd show back up. They just figured the deer was dead. And it was no, they just hadn't seen it because it's so vast and so
Big.
thick. Holy cow, is it thick down in there?
Yeah. So
But yeah, that's one of my favorite places. I'm not going this year. I'm hoping to get back in the near future here.
I tell people all the time, if you want to go on a grind and for the Midwest and grind it out, cold weather during the rut, that's fine. Go to the Midwest and do that. You may kill a deer, may not see one. If you want to have an enjoyable hunt with you, family, friends, whoever, warm weather, all kinds of animals and game to shoot, go to South Texas. That's where you need to go. You can do it in 3 or 4 days. Fly down there. They'll pick you up, or you're in a car and get to the place. Shoot all kinds of game. They'll feed you. The lodgings, you know how it is, 5-star, and just have the time of your life and go home feeling good about yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if I was going to ask you your favorite hunt that you've ever been on, favorite kill, it doesn't even have to be a kill, but like your favorite hunt, what would the story be behind that?
Dude, man, that's tough right there now.
This is my gotcha question. The only one I got, but it's my gotcha question.
You know what? This is going to sound crazy,
Okay.
probably, but the one hunt that I remember, and I actually killed a really good deer on this hunt, but the one that stands out probably more than any is I hunted years ago in Indiana on a piece of ground, Chris and I, that Jeff Peel from Tacticam owned, and another piece that joined it. And it wasn't a huge tract of land, I don't know, 300, 400, 500 acres, but probably the best piece of ground I've ever been on in my life. And we probably saw more big deer, mature deer that week than we've ever seen. And it was cold, it snowed, it just had all the right temperatures you were looking for a rut hunt. And the deer were moving, the rut was crazy, and it was incredible. I mean, it was probably one of the best hunts I've ever been on. Now, outside of that, I mean, my buddy Chuck Weldon that lives in Missouri, Whitetail Fix, I used to hunt with him a lot. He and I shared camp together for years, and he's got some incredible ground. And he and I, we just get along great. We shared a tree together, and we've seen a bunch of big deer, killed a bunch of big deer together. And those two are the two that come to the top of my mind. But as far outside of that, hunting at home with my kids is top of the list. There's nothing I'd rather do than hunt right here with my kids and, here in North Carolina. I mean, if somebody asked me what I enjoy doing more than anything, it's doing that. If somebody asked me what the best hunt I've ever been on, I could probably say the same. Watching my kids hunt here in the Blue Ridge Mountains and kill deer, that's always been exciting because my daddy loved that, and he's passed now, but me and him and my son Zayd and my daughter Brooklyn, we've shared a lot of good times together in camp. So those would be the 3 top ones in my opinion.
Do you? So I'm assuming at home you don't get to be a trigger man anymore. The kids have taken that.
Trigger man. I try to get out. I try to get out earlier in the season during bow season and be the trigger man, and then during gun season, my kids have a lot of sports and stuff. They're not able to hunt as much as they'd like, but I try to get it out of my system before gun season comes in, and then I kind of let them take over if I've got a decent spot for it. But I try not to spoil my kids either. That's the one thing I've never done. If I'm getting a picture of a really big deer, I'm not going to let my son go out and try to shoot it. He's going to have to earn it, develop, learn, and grow. And I'm trying to pass that down to him that, you don't just go out and shoot a big deer and that's it. I've had him out. He's 10. I've had him out a lot the last 2 or 3 years, helping, pour feed out for bait, hang some tree stands, checking trail cameras, showing him that you got to reap what you sow. If you're going to do the work, put the work in, you're going to get the hunt. But if you don't, you're not. And I stick to that. If he don't help me put the blinds up, help me do the work, he don't hunt those spots. So he's learned quickly that, if I'm going to get to do this, if a deer shows up here, then I'm going to get to hunt. But if I don't do any of this prep work, then he's not going to let me hunt. And I hold his feet to the fire to that.
I like that. I really do like that mentality because I know. Do you guys have a youth season down there? Do they? Is there a youth? Is it
We
way
have,
or
we have
is it
one day
okay?
in September, late September, where you can hunt with a gun.
Is it pretty much a slam dunk at that point? I mean, is it pretty easy?
Virginia gives you 2 days, which I wish North Carolina would. North Carolina has much better game laws than Virginia, but that's
Okay.
the one thing that I feel like they miss out on is giving us 2 days. Because if you had 2, I would say you're more of a slam dunk. But with 1 day, you got one afternoon basically. I mean, morning time, September, you know how that is. But
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
now last year he was successful. He killed a pretty nice deer, but it's feast or famine. I'll be honest, because it's that time period where they've just lost their velvet. They're starting that transition period, and it's right at the 1st of October. It's always the last Saturday in September. So, you never know what's going to show up.
Okay. Yeah, I think ours is like middle of September, middle
Yeah.
to the maybe more towards the 20th. But it's a 2-day season. But I've watched a lot of kids shoot a nice buck during that time and then just quit hunting. Because it's just too they come they don't they well, I shouldn't say they just quit hunting. They go out during a regular season and then realize that the deer aren't just going to funnel out into this field at 6 o'clock and stand broadside for you. So I've got mixed feelings about it. I haven't actually let my son do it yet. He's 10 as well, but I did have him win the blind with me opening day of rifle this year. Again, he does this like the 3rd year in a row. But I shot a nice 8-point opening morning. Well, I dropped it, and I made him. We sat there and watched it for 2 hours, just laying there, let it lay there. It was dead, and probably one of the best things I did for him because he was so antsy, but he understood that hey, we got to wait and see. There may be more. We don't know. We have no idea what's going on. You can kill 2 bucks in Michigan, so I made him. But it was one of those things. It was. I mean, I think he wore a hole through the bottom of the blind, moving his feet back and forth.
My oldest daughter, she's killed some decent deer. She's into it, then she's not. She'll be 14 next month. She's into it, she's not, but she's a lot more patient than my youngest son is. I have 2. She'll sit there, she's patient, won't make any noise, kind of pays attention. Now him, he wants to bring his phone, his iPad, play games. And I tell him when we get there, look, if you're not paying attention and you're not watching, if the right one comes out, I'm going to shoot it because I'm paying attention. So if you want to shoot a deer, you better be paying attention. So that's the way I end up, keeping him off his phone, his games. A lot of times I make him leave it in the car, but I want him scanning, watching, seeing what the deer are doing and how they're doing it. And he knows if he's not paying attention that he's going to miss out because I won't tell him. If I see one coming, I won't tell him. So if he misses it, he just gets mad. And I'm like, hey, it was your fault, buddy, because you wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to do it for you because one day I'm not going to be here. You're going to be sitting by yourself.
And then you're going to have that iPad in your hand and you're going to watch that deer's going to walk by and you're never going to even know it walked by.
Now, don't get me wrong. I play on my phone probably too
Same
much
here.
at tree stand too. So I know I've missed out on opportunities or looked up and had one there, but I'm trying to teach him, to be patient too. But I know how hard it is too because I'm like him. I'm impatient, but that's a big deal to me is trying to instill this into the youth moving forward so that hopefully one day my grandkids, if I have any, will, they'll take them and I'll be able to go too. But if I'm not, hopefully they'll pass it on to the next generation.
Okay. Do you guys do any habitat work at your place? I mean, do you hunt at home?
I do. I hunt a lot at home. I do some. The parcels of land, I hunt a lot of it. I mean, cutting road beds, trimming out lanes. I do some food plot stuff, but, we're hunting small tracts of land. I kind of compare it to people that hunt the Midwest. I'm like, your fields are our woods. Our fields are your woods. That's the difference, if that makes sense. We have, big mountainous areas and vast, heavy terrain and, some small areas where you could put, a 5-acre food plot or something in, but a lot of it's just farmland, cattle farms, stuff like that. It's hard to do food plots in a lot of the area we're in unless you're doing, some throw and grow or you've got a half acre you want to plant with some chicory or brassicas or something like that, it's tough where I'm at to do food plots and maintain it.
Okay. Okay. Is that so you're in the mountains then?
I am. I'm in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're about 3,500 elevation, so we're up. But I'm right on the Blue Ridge Parkway too, so
Okay.
get a lot of that and a lot of black bears. I hunt a few properties that are covered in black bears. So I try to kill a black bear every year because we get one a year in Carolina.
Okay. Okay. How do you like to eat the bear? Are you a bear fan?
I do not. They're greasy to me. I don't care for it. But now I've got some buddies that will fight each other over.
Okay.
So if I kill one, whoever calls first is who gets it.
That's great. My buddy Matt, he shot one here in Michigan this year, and he brought it to deer camp. He brought the backstraps of the bear, and he brought venison backstraps. Cooked them both the same way, and then we tried it. And I actually I liked the bear better than the whitetail.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah, I was blown away because he's like, well, you know that's bear, right? And I'm like, no way. I mean, it was delicious. I was blown away. I don't know what.
Depends on how you cook it, I guess. I've just never been a big fan of it. Now, elk, venison, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm all. But the bear, I've never been a huge fan of it. But I try to at least do some conservation work. Kill one if I can every year.
Well, like you said, you got friends fighting over it, so it's not like it's going to waste or anything. So
no, it's not going to waste. That's for sure. But
that's my favorite, actually, out of all game species is probably caribou.
Really?
Oh man, I had a guy I used to work with shot one year. This was years ago, and he brought in burger. We made burgers one Friday after work or something, and oh my goodness, was it so good! So now I've been trying to get up to go caribou hunting, but that's one of those things that's probably a bucket list for way down the line.
Yeah, I've never been on a caribou hunt. I know a lot of people that have and enjoyed it and loved it, but that's one thing. It's like you said, it's way on down my bucket list though.
What right now, what's your biggest bucket list?
I had somebody ask me that the other day, and I had to really think about that. I was at a picnic, actually Friday for the 4th, and the guy asked me that because he just got back from Argentina stag hunt.
Okay.
That was his bucket list. And I said, it's always been whitetail. I said, but the more I think about it, I kind of want to go I've never been on an elk hunt or moose, but I keep thinking a moose hunt may be on my bucket list to do in the next couple of years. I've got some friends that live in Maine that keep offering to come up, and I've never took them up on it. I never really had that itch, but here lately I've been thinking about moose hunting more than anything. So that may be my top bucket list right now outside of, I just can't get away from whitetails. I don't know why. That's just always been my thing. Passion is hunting big, mature whitetails.
I'm the same way, Matt. I mean, I love whitetails. I mean, it's just like one of those things. Like I have no points anywhere for big game. Like I'm mid-40s, no points for big game, and I'm just kind of like, it's not the end of the world to me. I mean, would I go? I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. But it's not. I'd rather go on a whitetail hunt than I'd go on a big game, I guess.
Me too. People ask me that all the time. They're like, hey, where do you want to go? You got it. I'm like, no, I just, whitetails is what I really enjoy doing. That's where I want to spend my money. That's where I want to spend my time is hunting whitetails.
Okay. Absolutely. What's your favorite state other than home, obviously?
The state that's probably been the best to me is Missouri.
Okay.
Over the years, but Iowa's probably my favorite. I'll be honest. It just is. There's something about them rolling hills out there, and that farmland has big deer and the cornfields. I mean, Iowa and Missouri probably be the two top for me.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to Iowa, so it's going to be like a complete eye opening for me. I've been everywhere else, it seems like, in the Midwest, but I've not been to Iowa yet, and I'm so dinking excited. I can't even contain it.
I've been fortunate enough to hunt some really, really good land over the years at Iowa, and it truly is. Kansas, obviously, big deer. It's just a different region, but there's nothing like Iowa, in my opinion. Especially if you got the right temperatures, whether it's the rut, late season, whatever, and the deer are doing what they need to do. There's no better place.
Okay. I can't wait to see that. What so with the new show, is it gonna be, you're talking more of like the storyline of it? Do you have like agendas of where you're trying to look for these places, or is it just kind of be where you're at and you're gonna get the story from them?
A little of both. Starting to look into places that I've, venture outside of my norm. I've been, kind of complacent over the last several years doing, repetitive same things because I know it works. So
Hmm.
now we're trying to do a few different things. I did a turkey hunt in Maryland on the Eastern Shore this past spring. That was new to me. I'm going to try to get back up there, do some shoot some stingrays, maybe do some bow fishing. That's new to me too. Yeah, it's going to be telling stories about whoever we find along the way, but also trying to set up some adventures that I've never been on to kind of take me out of that complacement, that I've been in several years here in that comfort zone, I guess, so to speak. I want to come out of that comfort zone. So I'm trying to do
Okay.
some hog hunts maybe, and see if I make a few more connections along the way here to do some things outside the whitetail realm. So we'll see, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, and the connections is like the hugest part of, I think, all of this. The people you meet. I mean, because everyone, at least for me so far, everyone's been so genuine and so, just
Yes.
good, salt of the earth people. I mean, hell, what, I met you a couple of years ago down in Texas, and we've stayed in contact since then, and ran into you again at ATA this year, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be really cool. So Red Rising will run through the end of the year.
Red Rising through December. You can catch it on Sportsman's Channel 5 times a week. Let's see, 5:30 p.m. on Mondays, 10:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. on Sundays, and then the other two are overnight times. But those are the three main times. Yeah, you're going to catch 13 new episodes there, and then starting January, I'll keep everybody posted. But that's when Bloodline Hunting will start airing, and you're going to see all 10 new episodes of mine from last fall and this spring. So I'm excited for
Okay.
everybody to see those. I was a little bit of everywhere last year. I was in Texas, Missouri, Maryland, here at home, a couple other places across country. So I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Heck yeah, we're all excited to see it. Well, we'll have to get you to Michigan one of these years.
I've been to Michigan, but I've never been hunting in Michigan. So
Well,
yeah,
consider yourself an open invite anytime you want to come up. We got lots of land and lots of public land and lots of private land, and it's a different kind of culture up here. That's for
that's
sure.
something on my bucket list too. I've never hunted public land. I
Okay.
want to try that sometime too. I mean, obviously, I know public land is the hot topic right now, and people love the public land thing. The hunting public are doing it. Some of the other guys, there's no stone unturned on public land now with all the new apps and features and things like that, like it used to be. But I still want to try it sometime just to see how it is. Haven't done that before either.
I've been doing a little bit of uh I mean, I love my private land, don't get me wrong, because I don't have, you don't have people messing with you. You've got
Yeah.
your own thing. But I like to do a little public land just to kind of keep my spot a little fresher at home, and then just get out. Because I mean, I don't know. I've been walked in on. I've had people stick logs in front of my trail cameras. I haven't had the greatest experience with public land, but
Wow.
still go out there and do it though.
Yeah, I mean it's a challenge. I hear. Like I said, never had the chance to do it. Never took the time to do it, but I hear a lot of stories from people. Some good experiences, some bad, some are in between. But I can imagine it's tough, especially if you're in a really good area.
Yeah, yep. You know how it is. And one person finds out about a deer, it gets everybody flocks to it. But well, Matt, man, I appreciate you coming on. Been in here a little under an hour, and I'm looking forward to Bloodline coming out. Great catching up with you. Where can everybody follow along with you at?
You can go on Instagram, Bloodline Hunting, and YouTube, Bloodline Hunting. Red Right. The Facebook page starting July 22nd will be Bloodline Hunting. It's still Red Rising as of now. I'm waiting on the switch right now, but you can find us anywhere on social media or the web. Well, I've got a website or YouTube. So any social media page, you can find us at Bloodline Hunting.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate it. And we'll definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely. Thanks. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for tuning in to the Habitat Podcast. We really do appreciate you guys coming back every week to get this awesome Habitat content. And we would appreciate it if you went to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. That helps us continue to grow and trend in the right direction, attract new listeners, and help us provide better content in the future. Guys, we have a website full of resources. We have a blog on the website. We have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all linked up at habitatpodcast.com. Our land plan services, merchandise, decals, hats, t-shirts, and I give away a free 5-inch decal to anyone who leaves us a review on Apple iTunes. Really appreciate it. I want to thank our partners, Downburst Cedars, Vitalize Seed Company, Morse Nursery, Packer Max Cultipackers, Stealth Outdoors, First Light Latitude Outdoors, United Country Midwest Lifestyle Properties. Thanks again, guys. We'll be back next week with another great episode of the Habitat Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.